Welcome back to the deep dive. We have pulled your source materials, your notes, and all the background lore, and today we are doing something a little different. We are focusing laser-like on one character's origin.
Yeah, this is a really important one. We're looking at what the source material calls session 0.2. So for you listening, this is a character prologue.
Right.
It's that key moment that happens before the big story kicks off, and it really defines the stakes for the sorcerer, Imogen.
And that's our whole mission for this deep dive. We're trying to get to the bottom of Imogen's core motivations, the trauma that's clearly driving her, and the weird dynamics of her power before she even meets anyone else.
And the sources are really explicit. She's leaving everything she knows. She's heading to Waterdeep, this huge, bustling city.
So what's pushing her?
Well, it's this beautiful and, really dangerous duality. On the surface, you've got this letter from Gundren Rockseeker, an old friend asking for help. Simple enough.
Okay, an external goal, a
Yeah.
classic quest hook.
Exactly. But underneath that, the real engine is this desperate need to find the missing pieces of her own past. The source actually says she wants the truth of who she was meant to be.
Oof. That phrase, who she was meant to be, it cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it?
It really does.
It implies that whoever she is right now is wrong or, incomplete. And that's the central hook for me. She's a sorcerer. Her power is innate. It's in her DNA. She should be totally in tune with herself. Yet she's defined by this trauma she can't even remember. A piece of herself that was, and I'm quoting here, stolen away. This isn't just amnesia. It feels like a fundamental break in who she is.
And we really have to underline the stakes there.
Yeah.
For you listening, when we talk about a sorcerer, their magic comes from their soul, from their bloodline. It's not learned.
Right. It's not like a wizard forgetting a spell they read in a book.
Exactly. For a piece of a sorcerer to be stolen away, that means the trauma didn't just mess with her brain. It damaged the source of her power, her identity, maybe her soul itself. This whole thing is a quest for, existential recovery that's just disguised as a rescue mission.
A metaphysical injury. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so before we get into the, frankly, terrifying details of that injury, let's talk about the support structure, the things holding her together right now.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this and start with her mentor, Eldara, and this very, very weird spell book.
The spell book is the first thing that just jumps off the page at me. It's a total contradiction.
How so?
Well, the whole deal with a sorcerer is that they're instinctual, their power is raw, it's natural. They don't need books. A spell book is for a wizard, someone who has to study and learn magic through discipline and formulas.
So it's a crutch. You're saying she has a crutch. Why would an innate caster need a crutch like that?
I think that's the key question. The source says Eldara was kind and comforting, and that she taught Imogen to be a sorcerer. That phrasing is so deliberate.
Taught her.
Right. It suggests Eldara wasn't just, refining a skill. She was building a cage. Or maybe a structure to contain something wild and potentially really destructive.
Absolutely. The book is proof that her own magic is, maybe it's broken, or just too dangerous to be left untamed after the trauma. Eldara's kindness wasn't just teaching, it was rehabilitation.
Yes. She taught Imogen to channel this raw power through a structured wizard-like method, because without it, maybe the magic would just consume her. Or worse, maybe you would recreate whatever happened to steal her memory in the first place.
The book is a shock absorber.
Totally.
And the description of the book itself is so visceral. It's not just a tool, it's worn leather, faded inscriptions, and it feels warm beneath your fingertips.
It's not an object, it's an anchor, a security blanket.
Yeah, a living link to a past that felt safe, even if it wasn't complete.
It's a tether to the identity Eldara built for her. The book is the learned, cautious, controlled person that she's become, and it's there to help her function despite her, fractured innate self.
And the inscriptions are described as a whisper from a past Imogen couldn't fully grasp. So the object itself is tied to the memory loss.
The book holds the history and the control that her own mind can't. It's a constant, physical reminder that her power needs to be disciplined.
So the big question then is this structure holding her back? I mean, if her real power comes from her soul, is Eldara's kind, well-intentioned system actually stopping Imogen from reaching her full potential?
That is the core of it, I think.
Because maybe that potential is too closely linked to the trauma. The book is like an admission that the sorcerer she was born to be is too volatile, and the wizard-like caster she was taught to be is just a safe copy.
And Eldara clearly shifted from mentor to, like a protective guardian. If the trauma happened before the training, which everything seems to suggest, then Eldara was basically rehabilitating a survivor whose trauma resulted in a literal hole in her being. But even with all that kindness, the sources mention this disquieting shadow that lurked beneath the memories.
So the cage wasn't perfect. The containment wasn't total. It implies the core trauma, that near-death experience, is seeping out.
Right, maybe Eldara didn't just teach her magic. Maybe she actively helped suppress the memory to keep Imogen stable.
So if Eldara rescued her from whatever happened, the training was this long act of damage control, but the healing was incomplete.
Exactly. And that leads us straight into the core mystery itself. This is where the safety of Eldara's past gives way to the terrifying reality of Imogen's present.
Okay, here's where it gets really compelling. This is the fuel for her entire quest. The source gives us 3 just brutally specific sensory details from that lost memory. We have to treat this like we're analyzing a crime scene.
A magical crime scene.
A magical crime scene. First, a dark cellar. Second, a blinding flash of pain. And third, a sense of something vital lost, a piece of herself stolen away.
Let's break those down one by one. The setting first. A dark cellar. Why a cellar? What does that immediately tell you?
Confinement. Secrecy. Something hidden, underground. It screams illicit activity. This wasn't something that happened out in the open.
It could be a ritual site, maybe a hidden lab, or, speaking symbolically, it's the deepest, most buried part of her own mind.
The boundary, the cellar is the boundary of her memory. Everything outside is safe to remember. Everything inside is lethal truth.
And it's dark. So whatever happened was meant to be a secret, not just from the world, but from Imogen herself. If something was extracted from her there, it suggests she was targeted. This wasn't random. She was the subject of a very specific malicious act.
Which leads right into that second detail. A blinding flash of pain. This wasn't a slow drain. It was sudden, violent, incapacitating.
It suggests a massive energy release. The question is, was that energy directed at her, or did it come from her?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, if it was at her, it could have been some powerful spell meant to, cleave off a part of her soul. But if it came from her, it might have been some kind of catastrophic magical feedback.
A self-defense mechanism, her raw power lashing out to protect her, and maybe destroying the memory as a side effect.
Yes, and the blinding part suggests light, or fire, or pure arcane energy that just completely overwrote everything else.
I lean towards the self-defense theory. It would explain why Eldara's structured control was so necessary afterwards. If Imogen's reaction to extreme trauma is a memory-wiping magical explosion,
then the spellbook is the safety switch to make sure that never, ever happens again.
Which brings us to the most terrifying detail of all. A sense of something vital lost, a piece of herself stolen away. We have to go back to what a sorcerer is. When you steal something vital from them, you aren't taking an object.
You're taking a piece of their soul, a function of their very being.
So what does vital loss actually mean here? Is it a literal drop in her power level, like her magic was permanently capped?
It could be, or it could be something more subtle. Maybe the part that was stolen wasn't just raw power, but something that defines the kind of magic she has, or her capacity for an emotion, like trust or joy.
A psychic and metaphysical wound, a permanent gap in her personality. So the quest isn't just to remember what happened.
It's to retrieve a functional part of her spirit.
And the source says she couldn't quite recall the event. That confirms it. The memory loss is just a symptom of the trauma. She remembers the sensory footprint, the cellar, the flash, the loss, but not the who or the why.
So her entire quest is to fill that specific, horrifying blank. And that creates this amazing contradiction for her character. She's actively hunting for this darkness, but the amnesia might be the only thing keeping her sane.
It's inherently self-destructive. She is willingly chasing her own destabilization just for the sake of being whole.
A whole person who might be terrifyingly unstable.
Wow. Okay, so this internal crisis has just been simmering. She's been passive, held in place by Eldara's safety protocols. But you can only stay like that for so long. She needed a push.
An external push. A catalyst. And that catalyst was Gundren Rockseeker.
Right. This is where she shifts from being a passive survivor to an active seeker. Gundren's letter isn't just a job offer. The source calls it a beacon of hope and a reason to leave.
That is so telling. It means she was basically paralyzed. She was waiting for permission, for an external justification to finally confront her past because she couldn't do it for herself.
And the motivation here is loyalty. The letter is a plea for help from an old friend, and her actions are fueled by loyalty to someone who had once aided her. This is personal.
Super personal. So we have to ask, what did Gundren do for her?
There's no way he just, bought her a drink once. If we look at the timeline, it seems very likely that Gundren is the one who found her after the cellar incident.
Oh, wow.
He found her broken, magically volatile, probably terrified, and he's the one who brought her to Eldara for help.
That completely reframes their relationship. He's not just a friend. He's a foundational figure in her survival. She doesn't owe him a favor. She owes him her life, her sanity.
So her going to Waterdeep isn't really a choice, it's a life debt. She has to pay the external debt to Gundren before she can let herself focus on the internal one.
But wait a second. If Gundren saved her, and he knew how fragile she was, wouldn't he also know that pulling her out of that safe environment was a huge risk?
Is he betraying her, you think? Or is he just ignorant?
I think he might be oblivious to how deep the wound actually is. He probably just sees a powerful, loyal sorcerer who owes him one. He doesn't see the delicate psychological machine held together by a letter book.
So his call for help, which he thinks is a lifeline, is actually forcing her to confront the very instability that Eldara spent years trying to suppress.
And the journey itself reflects that. The source doesn't just say it was a tough trip, it was fraught with challenges, and there was a fierce storm mirroring the tempest within her soul.
That's not just bad weather. That's the author telling us how high the stakes are. The external world is a perfect reflection of her internal chaos.
She's literally traveling through her own emotional storm to get to Waterdeep. The journey is a trial by fire, or, well, trial by wind and water, marking her break from the safety of the past.
It's a test of her control. Does the training hold up? Does the structure Eldara gave her keep her from falling apart when things get chaotic?
The fact that she arrives means it did. But that inner tempest is still raging. She's just carried the storm with her into the city.
So she finally arrives. After all that, she gets to the setting. And the narrative shifts from this wild storm to the structured chaos of Waterdeep.
A city of towering spires, a place of promise and hidden dangers. It's the exact opposite of her isolated life with Eldara. Waterdeep promises answers, but it also mirrors the darkness she's already carrying inside her.
She hasn't escaped it at all. She's just traded one kind of prison for another. And it says the weight of her forgotten past is pressing down on her. Arrival doesn't bring relief. It brings more tension.
And her first stop, her immediate goal, is the ship's wheel tavern. This is the classic starting point, right? A haven for adventurers and storytellers. It's where her private quest is about to collide with a public plot.
And she's clutching that letter. That physical act shows how much she's depending on this external mission. She's following the paper, following the debt she owes, because it's easier than following the whispers of her own broken memory.
So, to sum it up, as she's walking to that tavern door, she is powerful, she is motivated, but she is fundamentally incomplete.
Standing at the crossroads of two quests. The external one, find and help Gundren, and the internal one, find and fix herself.
And the moment she walks into that tavern, the protective bubble Eldara built is gone for good.
The danger is immediate. She's in a city of hidden dangers, heading into a chaotic public space, and the letter she's holding might as well be a target painted on her back.
So let's speculate a bit. What's the first thing that could trigger a flashback? What sound or sight in that tavern could bring back that chilling echo or that blinding flash of pain?
Okay, maybe the sound of a glass smashing unexpectedly. A sudden, sharp noise that mimics the abruptness of the trauma.
Or what about the light? Maybe a patron casts a simple light spell, a cantrip, but the sudden flash, even a small one, is just close enough to the blinding flash that it sends her reeling.
Oh, or the cellar? Taverns have cellars. Maybe the door to the cellar is open and she just glances down into the darkness, and for a split second, she's back there.
That's terrifying. And what if Gundren isn't even there? What if the letter is a trap?
A trap that leads her right back to the people who took that piece of her in the first place. Her loyalty becomes the weapon used against her.
That piece of her soul, that memory, it's out there somewhere. It's waiting for her. The quest to find out who she was meant to be is about to slam into the very real danger of who she is right now.
She's about to find out if Eldara's careful structure can actually withstand the truth. The second she crosses that threshold, she's not an apprentice anymore. She's the sorcerer of the stolen past, and the real journey starts now.
And this leaves us with one last, really provocative thought for you to consider. What if that vital piece wasn't stolen from her by force? What if she gave it away? What if she made a bargain in that dark cellar, trading a piece of her identity for some immense power, or to protect a terrifying secret?
What if the cellar wasn't a prison, but a choice? Think about that as she reaches for the tavern door.